I mean, very simply, we're in the business of time-shifting advertising. So everyone has figured out, there's hundreds of companies literally that are behaviorally targeting and looking to get the best ad in front of the right consumer. The problem is on the internet there's no right time. So it's supposed to be at the right time, but because it's a dynamic medium, there really isn't a right time. So we basically turn it into my time advertising, and we do it very simply by putting a button on every ad, and that's video and banner ads and you name it. And it is our mission over the next year to literally have a button on every ad on the internet that lets the consumer keep it for later, not be distracted from what they're currently doing, continue reading or watching the video that you're on, keep the ad for later. So effectively make the ad primary, but later. Because right now ads are secondary. They always have been, unless you're dealing with the Penny Saver or Craigslist. And it's not that people don't like ads. They do, but they came for content. So what we do is we say, read your content, keep the ad, go to it later.
So where is the ad kept, actually? Is it a desktop? Is it on the web? Where is it kept?
No, so the beauty of it is, and I've been thinking about this for 15 years, and it kind of was a confluence of technology and consumer demand that came together. There's no software, there's no registration. So you keep the ad from the ad itself as a button embedded in the ad once that ad is trafficked through the ecosystem. It goes into your personal web page. We have built keepers. There's a keeper for Andy Plesser, and for everybody else on the planet, it exists. The first time you keep an ad, we drop that ad into Keeper. You can keep another dozen. You go to your Keeper just by going to adkeeper.com. It's a cookie-based system, so we know it's you. Every one of the ads that we use is also an entry point into your Keeper. So we have this really interesting ubiquity play where we are on our way to a button on every ad. We have 27% of the web under contract today. We're just about to come out of beta, technical beta, and ramp that up to get that full 27% activated. And every one of those buttons is also an introduction to your Keeper, because we have a K. It expands to keep ad for later. You click it, it says kept at Ad Keeper. If you click through, you actually get to your Keeper, or you're just reminded that I can go to adkeeper.com anytime.
Why do people go to their Keeper? What do they find, or how do they interact with their ads they've saved?
So interestingly, we have found that there isn't an ad on the web that for some portion of the market isn't more useful if it could be kept. So all ads are actually keepable by somebody. And we have found that. So we've now had hundreds of thousands of keeps, even though we're only in technical beta and we haven't done any marketing. People are finding this, and they find their way back to the Keeper, and the engagement with ads is significant. It's about 10 times, 20 times more duration for an ad, and we're currently seeing 30 times the click rate for an ad that's been kept. And it really runs across branding and offers and product research. So the thesis that we had was that this would work for everyone some of the time. Everyone meaning I'll call it 60% of people. Some of the time for some of the ads that they're interested in. And since there's no friction at all in either software or registration, everybody can just do it. And we're in this ramp. We basically have a 0.5% of the web covered right now just doing technical testing. We've run several billion buttons through the ecosystem to make sure that everything delivers and reports. And now as we ramp up to that 27, 30%, and we think then 100%, people will see this stuff all over the place.
Okay, and what's the business for you guys? What's your business model? How do you make money?
Our business is actually very simple. The button is free. The act of keeping is free. It's great engagement, metric and concept, the actual keep. And we make our money when the person comes back to their Keeper, their personal Keeper, and they engage with ads. So they're now engaging with an ad, full up, full view, no distraction. They might click it, they might watch it. Whatever they did with it or was meant to be done with it in the wild is what's done in the Keeper, and we get compensated accordingly.
So tell us about video. You know, that's a little bit more complicated, I suppose. What's happening with video, and how might that roll out in the next few months?
So we have video up on the service. We have all the Super Bowl ads on the service, and you can keep them from the service. Video, more complicated, came later, obviously, than banner ads. There's lots of different container structures, but anything that plays inside a Flash container, no problem. That's keepable. The various other video formats, we're basically knocking those off one by one with third-party providers so that there's a keep button in the video so that you can hold on to it for later. Obviously, video is a great branding mechanism. We all obviously saw the Old Spice ads move around the net. So we see video for branding and product comparison. Obviously, more than we see on the offer side. That's probably the flatter Flash or rich media ads. But Just like people want to go back and watch videos on YouTube, we think that watching them and using them inside your personal keeper is a good place too.
And how does AdKeeper work on tablets or mobile devices, or does it at this point?
AdKeeper does work on all devices. You need to register to take your keeper across devices. So you actually don't need to register to have a functional, fully functional AdKeeper experience on your original device. The web-based service works across onto iPhones and Androids into tablets. The bigger issue is that most advertising is Flash-based, and obviously Apple is not a fan of Flash. So as we move forward with our mobile applications, we take that into consideration and we'll adjust presentation accordingly. And then at the same token, we see capturing across mobile from QR codes, from television, from any place in the real world. So our mission is to be the consumer's place to control their marketing, messaging, and advertising. We mean to do it across all media, so we'll capture from magazines and television. We'll then display across all media. We start with the web because it's the wide open system, but then display on mobile, which is possible today, and eventually display on television as well.